Hi guys, this is the circa 1939 Underwood Universal portable typewriter, and this is Steven at Classic Typewriter. I'm going to walk you through a few of the essential features, and you can get a sense of how this machine works and whether it will suit your writing needs. These are the carriage release levers. These little tiny buttons, relatively small in this model. Paper bail. This will release the rollers and the paper bail. The carriage knobs. This is how you select the single or double spacing. There's a little switch in here. Touch control, whether you want a harder or a lighter touch, heavy or light touch. This is how you select red ribbon, no ribbon impression is the middle one, or the black, which is the standard. This is only if you have a two-tone ribbon loaded. The middle one's for corrections in the past, or to sort of emboss the paper if you want to. Nice metal ruler bar on these. Nice attention to detail. How you set the tabs is you fold this down, and there's these switches here, if you can see them. And you push the back and you slide them around. That's how you set the left and right margins. Make sure they're in the grooves. The reason I'm showing you that is because when you hit the margin, that's the margin release. Kind of nondescript. Normally the margin release says MR, it's over here somewhere. Backspace, obviously. This has a nice crinkle cut cover right here, which some models don't. Also, no tabs on this model. This kind of springs open and clicks shut. That's a manual opening device. Just a very beautiful, relatively small profile machine. This is how you reverse the ribbon. So it will also it'll also auto reverse when the eyelets in the ribbon hit these little switches and move it over. See, I just held it so it manually flipped it. If it doesn't flip manually, or if it doesn't flip automatically, or you need to flip it manually, you just move that to one position or the next. I'm going to walk you through the case here, then do a little type sample. The case, like most cases of this era, this slides over and then that flips up, but with a spring. If it doesn't flip up, the spring's not working, you need to manually do it. Notice these point kind of upward. On most typewriters, they're a right angle. And the reason they point upward is because they slide upward into this slot here. So you just have to be careful you're sliding this in at the right angle. It's like an upward angle like that. And then when you set it down, these two pistons go in to the hollow feet. And then you're essentially in the case. This one doesn't so much latch in the case as sit in there. The carriage lock, you lift this piece up and that locks it. Once you lock it, it's better set in the case where it can rest against these rubber pieces, and that will hold the front down. The back is latched. And close that. Close that. Voila. Always double check that this is latched, that the machine's latched in the case before you carry anything. I'm going to take this out to do a little type sample. I'm also going to show you, this just slides over if you ever want to type just in the bottom of the case. Move this back over here. There we go. I'll show you the machine in action. I always type in the company of flowers first and foremost. This is my little handmade deckled edge paper. You can find it on my website. Load the paper Move the roller so that they're holding the paper down somewhat. I need to once again adjust this left margin. The right margin you may or may not mess with this on this small of a paper size. Find the starting point. There's the shift key. This is how you shift to capital letters or alternative characters. Notice that this is a carriage shift, meaning the whole carriage lifts. If it's a basket shift or a segment shift, just this inner part lifts. But at this era, they're almost all carriage lift except for Smith Corona. Oops, I have it on red still. Back to black. Oops. This hasn't written in some years. I have it on single space. I'm going to just do 2 there. I like the bell. See, the bell will ring a few spaces before you hit the end of the line, so you'll know you either need to wrap up your word or use a dash, so you can kind of plan ahead once you get the feel for where that bell is. Let me see if there's an exclamation point on here. There's not. I'm going to create one out of an apostrophe and a period under it. Go to red for that, make another exclamation point. Notice, I don't know that I pointed out this carriage return lever. This needs a slight adjustment because it's lifting. When you'll manually move the carriage over to the end, and it'll also advance it 1 line or 2 depending on the setting. This would be much quieter with a typewriter pad because it's a pretty small machine. A lot of the thud you're hearing is this wooden desktop. It took a line or 2 for me to get a feel for this keyboard. I don't type on these models very frequently, but that's a nice, delicate typeface. Here's my classic typewriter embosser. There you have a nice embossed custom. That just has a nice handmade feel. I love this paper. I use it in my Zettelkasten, my Nexus, and for notes to clients and other people that I like. And that's it. Again, circa 1939 Underwood Universal. This is the black and white, more utilitarian black crinkle and chrome before they replaced their models with the brightly colored kind of Art Deco ones from the 50s. So this is a really nice powerhouse workhorse, also pretty luxurious aesthetics if you ask me, because they have these metal trims. This cover, as I said, like this metal ruler bar is a nice attention to detail. All this stuff that a lot of these brands don't have. And this paint, these decals are in very nice shade, this touch control. So, highly recommended machine. Hope it gives you many nights of written rapture. Again, I'm Steven with Classic Typewriter. I'll see you on the other side.